Have you ever wondered what it feels like to be trapped, deep beneath the earth, with no hope of escape? Imagine the dark, the silence, the fear. Welcome to the chilling tale of the Darr Mine disaster. This is the horrifying reality that befell the miners of the Darr Mine in 1907. On the morning of December 19, 1907, over 200 men descended into the Darr Mine, oblivious to the tragic fate that awaited them. In the heart of Pennsylvania, life had just begun to stir. The Darr Mine, a coal mine located in Van Meter, was abuzz with activity. Miners, donned in their hard hats and covered in a fine layer of coal dust, trudged down the mine's deep, dark tunnels, their faces etched with resolve and determination. Each man had a role to play, each man a cog in the relentless machinery of industry. The echo of pickaxes against stone reverberated through the mine, a symphony of labor and toil. Unbeknownst to them, the mine was a ticking time bomb. With every swing of their pickaxes, the miners were stirring up coal dust, a highly combustible substance. As the day progressed, the concentration of this deadly dust increased, filling the air with an invisible, lethal threat. The mine's ventilation system, designed to clear the dust and provide fresh air, was woefully inadequate. The perfect storm was brewing, a deadly cocktail of ignorance, negligence, and natural forces. As the clock struck noon, the unthinkable happened. A miner's open flame lamp, a common tool in those days, ignited the suspended coal dust. In an instant, a catastrophic explosion ripped through the mine, a monstrous beast unleashed from its slumber. The earth shook, the air was filled with a deafening roar, and a fiery inferno engulfed the mine's intricate network of tunnels. The explosion was so intense that it was felt and heard miles away. People were thrown off their feet, windows shattered, and a dense cloud of smoke rose ominously from the mine's entrance. The world above ground stood still, a chilling silence descending upon the landscape. It was a grim harbinger of the disaster that had unfolded underground, a stark reminder of the price paid in blood and tears for the coal that fueled the nation's progress. The explosion was so powerful that it was heard miles away, a grim harbinger of the disaster that had unfolded underground. In the aftermath of the explosion, the town of Van Meter was plunged into grief and despair. A once vibrant mining community, now a ghost town echoing with the sorrowful cries of widows and fatherless children. The explosion had ripped through the Darr Mine like a merciless beast, leaving in its wake a trail of devastation that would forever scar the heart of this small Pennsylvania town. Rescue attempts were initiated almost immediately, but as the hours turned into days, hope began to fade. The mine, a labyrinth of tunnels and shafts, was a treacherous terrain to navigate. Rescue teams worked tirelessly, their faces etched with determination and fear, knowing that every second counted. Slowly, the grim reality of the disaster began to unfold. One by one, the bodies of the miners were discovered, their lifeless forms a stark contrast to the vibrant souls they once were. Each discovery, a punch to the gut, a painful reminder of the human cost of the explosion. The final count was staggering. 239 men lost their lives that fateful day, each one leaving behind a family, a story, a life half-lived. The disaster didn't just take away lives, it snatched away fathers, sons, husbands, and brothers. The shockwaves of the disaster reverberated through the community, leaving no family untouched, no heart unbroken. The Darr Mine disaster was not just a tragedy, it was a catastrophe that shook the very foundation of the mining industry. It was a wake-up call, a stark reminder of the human cost of coal mining. It exposed the harsh realities of the industry, the dangerous conditions miners had to endure, and the lack of safety measures that put their lives at risk. The town of Van Meter was never the same again. The laughter and joy that once resonated through the streets were replaced by a deafening silence, a haunting reminder of the lives lost. The Darr Mine disaster remains one of the deadliest mining accidents in American history, a grim reminder of the dangers that miners face every day. A chilling testament of a time when human lives were sacrificed in the pursuit of black gold. In the wake of the disaster, questions were raised about the safety measures in place at the Darr Mine. This ignited an in-depth investigation that would peel back the layers of negligence and disregard for human life that had led to such a horrific event. The investigators, with grim determination, began to unravel the grim truth. They found that the mine, a catacomb of darkness and danger, was a ticking time bomb due to the lack of safety measures. The mine owners had turned a blind eye to the risks, prioritizing profits over the lives of the miners. This was not a tragic accident. It was a disaster waiting to happen. The findings were damning. Not only were there inadequate safety measures in place, but the mine owners had also ignored numerous warnings about the potential for catastrophe. They had chosen to roll the dice with the lives of their workers, and this gamble had ended in the worst possible way. The investigation also revealed that the miners themselves had been aware of the dangers they faced every day. Yet they had few options but to descend into the depths, their livelihoods dependent on the very industry that put their lives at risk. The Darr Mine disaster served as a wake-up call for the mining industry, leading to significant improvements in mine safety. The cost of this lesson, however, was paid in the lives of those who perished in the mine that fateful day. The Darr Mine disaster left a lasting legacy, shaping the future of mine safety in the United States. In the wake of the tragedy, a tidal wave of change surged through the mining industry. As the coal dust settled and the grim reality of the disaster sunk in, it became glaringly clear that changes were urgently needed. In the years following the disaster, the United States government took decisive action. In 1910, less than 2 years after the Darr Mine disaster, the Bureau of Mines was established. This marked a significant turning point in the history of American mining. The Bureau was tasked with conducting research to enhance safety in the mines, as well as to promote the conservation of resources. Additionally, safety regulations underwent a radical transformation. Standards for ventilation, emergency exits, and safety equipment were drastically improved. The changes didn't stop there. The government also started enforcing stricter regulations for mine inspections, ensuring that every mine was up to standard. The legacy of the Darr Mine disaster is a poignant reminder of the price paid for progress. The miners who lost their lives in the Darr Mine disaster did not die in vain. Their sacrifice led to significant changes that have undoubtedly saved countless lives.